This is Kathleen Kelly versus State Farm Insurance Company. And this is the Abood Law Firm's motion to enforce attorney-client agreement. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Andrew Abood and Matt Hales, and Miss Kathleen Kelly is here by Zoom.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. And on behalf of defendant?
Scott Hansberg on behalf of State Farm.
Thank you. And the issue really isn't with State Farm, or is it?
Not really.
Appreciate being here, I wondered, but okay. So the issue is Mr. Abood's firm wants to enforce the attorney-client agreement. Mr. Abood, you may proceed.
Thank you. The court set this matter for a pretrial, and I assume it's because you're saying, hey, why don't we have an order of dismissal or stipulation? And the reason why, we have the check. The matter is settled. Ms. Kelly has signed a release, but won't sign, and is settled at mediation as we set forth in our motion, but has not signed the disbursement, the check. We've provided her with a disbursement letter. It's a pretty standard, straightforward letter in which she would sign the check, and our contingency fee is 1/3. Our costs come out of the top. I don't remember offhand what our costs are, but they're not significant, maybe $2,500 or something to that effect. And she has negotiated, and we have graciously credited some of the costs, but ultimately she hasn't signed the check. We can't deposit it, and so we're sort of at a stalemate, and we're asking the court to either order her to sign the check or order State Farm to reissue 3 checks, 1 to her, 1 and I think 2 to us. So, I mean, she signed the release, this matter mediated. We've set forth all that in the agreement. I mean, she was part of the negotiations. And
Mr. Abood, I have under Exhibit 3, your firm provided to the court through your motion the settlement check amount, the advanced costs, and you're right, there were $2,741.80. Then the net settlement, the attorney fee of 1/3 of that, and then the proceeds less the Medicare lien, which is the law that was satisfied, and then the net settlement.
we were told there's no Medicare lien. I have a proposed order.
Okay.
We have not provided one to Ms. Kelly because she's not here. But basically it says, endorse the check within 7 days, and then we'll disperse pursuant to our disbursement letter, or order State Farm to reissue 3 checks.
Okay. Can you just, I'm pulling this apart. I'm not on the record putting the whole amount, just for confidentiality's
So that's
sake.
fine.
Can you just verify this is still the same numbers?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Mr. Fios, can you catch that for you? I just wanted to verify.
I may,
yeah,
the lien is 0. So that-
I think this is the same thing.
Okay.
And Matt would have checked this, so.
Same thing. Okay, please give that back to Mr. Fios or Mr. Rudy. All right, ma'am, can you tell me what is the problem here?
The problem is I have asked several questions regarding my negotiations and what my attorney was supposed to negotiate on my behalf in the settlement, and they won't answer the questions.
Well, what are the questions, ma'am?
There's a whole list of them that I included in the packet. The biggest problem was when it came time to give an answer, there was a deadline for the mediation, and my attorney gave me 2 hours because he forgot to send it to me.
Okay, let me just ask you something, ma'am, let me
Yeah.
just stop you right there. Did you participate in the mediation?
Not the actual negotiations, no. I don't know what, I was told that they accepted my proposal, but when I got it 2 hours before a decision was supposed to be made, there were points in there that were not what I proposed. And my attorney in that 2-week period never spoke to me and told me what they would not accept or wasn't going to be accepted. I didn't have a voice in that.
Are you
Never
telling me
discussed
that your attorney accepted mediation without consulting you?
My attorney, I'm just give me a second for my brain to work. My attorney told me they accepted my proposal. And then when I got the settlement agreement, it wasn't what I proposed. And he said there were 2 items that they didn't agree with, but he never discussed those 2 items with me. I still don't know exactly what they are.
What were the 2 items?
I don't know. He didn't tell me.
Mr. Wood, can you help me out
I
here?
can. So the matter went to mediation. It mediated, I don't know if you're familiar with Lee Silver, but he's probably one of the most outstanding mediators and a lawyer's lawyer out of Grand Rapids. And they mediated all day. And I know it's been a while since you've been in private practice, but in today's mediation, everybody doesn't meet in the same room for whatever reason. But in this particular case, it was done by Zoom. So she participated in mediation, and every offer and every counter was communicated to her. It goes back and forth. And as you know, in mediation, you sit around for a long time and it feels like nothing's happening. And ultimately, at some point in time, Ms. Kelly made a demand for the dollar amount that the case settled for, and she had some conditions, and State Farm accepted that, subject to 2 caveats. Those caveats, and then Lee Silver said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a mediator's recommendation. And he made the recommendation and without the caveats. And that was circulated, and Matt circulated it to Ms. Kelly, and she accepted it. Now, as you know, there are sometimes deadlines, but those deadlines are what I would consider soft deadlines. It's not like the court says, if you don't show up, the case is gonna get dismissed. So ultimately, she signed I believe, a mediation agreement, and then she signed a release. And I get it that she may have buyer's remorse and she may be mad at us, but at this point in time, there's no motion, and I'm not aware of anything where she has wanted to set aside the settlement. And what she doesn't want to sign the check, but it's like, I don't know what to do. And I told her, and that's our policy, that when we have a 6-figure check, I don't like it sitting around. It's been sitting around since June. I don't know what to do. The case is settled.
Okay, ma'am, what didn't you get that you thought you should get?
I asked for my attorney to provide me with information from State Farm that would tell me what my financial responsibility would be. That
You mean
means
to State Farm?
I asked for my attorney to get the explanations of reviews from State Farm and unpaid claims, so I knew what my financial responsibility would be.
Okay, stop there. Stop there a minute. Are there unpaid claims? Wouldn't this resolve the whole matter?
It resolved everything through the mediation date.
So there's no unpaid claims. She gets this check free and clear.
No.
That's,
There's one bill.
What's the one bill?
with Metro Detroit endocrinology.
Okay, with endocrinology, how much is that?
I think it's around 7,500. I don't have the specific number in front of me.
Okay, so she owes about $7,500 to the endocrinologist.
Yes, apparently we learned that in June, well after discovery closed, so it was news to us too.
Was that discussed in mediation?
We had completed discovery and all of the evidence that I had for the claim was involved in mediation and fully presented.
So ma'am, you're gonna owe your endocrinologist because that was not discussed because nobody knew about it until after it was closed. So is that the only bill everybody knows about?
The lien is zero, so that, then there's a few other out of pockets that Mrs. Kelly had paid for, and that's, like it's about $2,000 that we came in. Most of the cases attendant care, and that's reflected by the 150.
Are there any other outstanding bills?
Not that I know.
No other outstanding bills?
No, Medicare lien was something we were waiting on, and that came out to be zero.
Okay. And I do have here, it was $229.19, but now that's,
And I think, Your Honor, just to make the record clear, because of the 7,500, I believe we discounted our fee by 2,500.
okay.
So
Okay, so in order to make up for that, did you hear that, the 7,500, they didn't know about, they discounted their fee by about 2,500.
He also did not address the medical specialties that I wanted reinstated because we had proof that they were needed. And he put in there something about de novo, where State Farm would look at it with fresh eyes. After getting on the phone with State Farm, their fresh eyes means they're still going to deny anything that they have any previous IME that they are denying. They're still going to deny it. So he did not fight for my rights. This de novo that I questioned with him is not getting me back the benefits I need. He didn't fight for that.
I think what she's talking about is future benefits, and she has ongoing medical, and it sounds like State Farm said, yeah, if you have additional claims in the future, we'll look at it. And that's a fight to get left down the road, but she is entitled to attendant care at 15,000 a month, which we have, which we have normally would get a fee on, which we waived our fee, and she's already gotten one of those checks, and maybe more, but I know that we got one check early on, and our name was on it, we endorsed it and sent it to her. So, I mean, there's always, in settlement, there's always negotiations.
On behalf of State Farm, I think her fear is that since once she cashes this check, she can't go back to you. Is there a possibility to go back for future issues, or does this cut her off?
The settlement, there's two parts to it. It releases past benefits through the settlement date, and I just don't have that in front of me, it would be in the release. There is also a separate agreement that's been signed agreeing to pay her attendant care as a contract for the next 3 years. I believe it's a certain amount of hours per day at a certain rate for the next 3 years. And then any other benefits would be submitted to State Farm for review. They're not agreeing to pay them. They're not saying it, but until something's submitted, how can they make a decision on it? So
that's
it's
not
released. Future benefits are still available, but they're not saying ahead of time. They don't pre-authorize payments or treatments, but it's still available.
Did you hear that, ma'am?
Yes, I understand what they are saying about future benefits, but I was also fighting for the benefits that they owed me that were accident related, and they should have paid them. They should have paid Metro Detroit endocrinology. The proof was there that that was an accident related service, and they still chose not to pay.
We settled through the settlement date through the facilitation, and anything before that would be covered by the settlement. If there's bills after that, they can be submitted, but they wouldn't be State Farm's responsibility if they're before the settlement date.
And this endocrinologist was before the settlement date?
I don't know, because I'm not sure, I don't have the bill and I'm not familiar with that claim.
The treatment was, but the bill we got just 2 months ago in June is when Ms. Kelly gave us this bill that we hadn't seen before.
So you received the bill after the negotiations?
Yeah, June.
I received the bill the same day the settlement was signed. In the meantime, in the last 2 weeks, I've also found more information and had State Farm send me all the IMEs, so I had made sure I had a complete record. I also requested all the EORs, because if my attorney had given me what I asked for and got me all the up-to-date claim logs and paid EORs or denied EORs, he would have seen that State Farm paid for LabCorp. This is important because LabCorp was the lab that covered all the testing for endocrinology. So State Farm is showing that they know that it's accident related and they paid for that, but they didn't pay for the endocrinologist that ordered it.
But the bill came the day of the mediation, so they didn't know about it. And let me just ask State Farm, is that something that can still be submitted or not?
No, anything incurred prior to the settlement date would be released. It would not be.
Okay. So ma'am, that isn't gonna be covered, but everything else looks like it is, or in the future could be.
I don't know.
Here's what, I mean, ma'am, there's a valid agreement with the mediator. It doesn't look like there's any mistake or fraud, and it looks like you didn't get everything you wanted, but that's why it's called mediation. It's not where everybody gets what they want. Everybody gets a lot of what they want, but not everything.
Right.
So it looks like.
I did want to clarify one more thing about the mediation. They did talk about the mediation I was involved in, and it was after that mediation that I found out that going to trial wasn't going to be smart, because part of the reason to go to trial was to find out the law and whether or not I was eligible for the 24/7 attendant care based on my date of loss. So I asked some more questions, and I asked my attorney to find out if there's any precedence on the law. And he told me that if I wanted to research the law, I could go to Justia. I was not satisfied with that information, so I went and I sent a message to CPAN, and one of their attorneys answered me and clarified that there was a precedent. After I received that, that's when I asked my attorney, is it open where we can go back and propose something? So I even asked him if he could do it himself, but he needed to go through the mediator for whatever reason. It's the second mediation where the settlement came out that he did not talk to me about at all. So there were two separate mediations. One that I was involved in that I turned down, and I said, no, I'd rather go to trial. And then the second one where he didn't discuss it with me because for whatever reason, he couldn't get on the phone.
Response?
Not really. I mean, we're not here, and she's talking about things we said, but I don't think privilege has been waived. And, you know, the case mediated, and she signed a release. And, I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Ma'am, you may have other recourse, but it looks like there is an agreement here, and an agreement that I can't undo. And I guess you can waive privilege and we can have further hearing, but I don't think this is gonna get you where you need to go. What I'm gonna do is order the State Farm draft separate checks
If I may, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were provided with a proposed order.
Yes.
I have a lot of paperwork here. Hang on. I have order granting a booze motion to enforce. Is that what you're talking about?
I was just presented one today, which generally is fine, but the last paragraph on the second page, it asks that State Farm deliver the check to Ms. Kelly. And I would prefer that we deliver both the checks to plaintiff's counsel, and then they deliver the check to Ms. Kelly. I think that would be more appropriate.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Other than that, the order is fine.
I mean, that order gives Ms. Kelly 7 days to endorse the check. And it orders us to disperse pursuant to the disbursement letter.
And if she doesn't, then we would issue 2 checks as indicated in the order, but they would both be sent to plaintiff's counsel to discuss.
I would like to know why my attorney wouldn't get on the phone and just simply answer some questions.
Ma'am, that certainly is something between the two of you. It doesn't really have anything to do with the settlement agreement. It looks like you have a good settlement. I don't know much about your case because that's why the mediator probably knows a lot about your case. I only know minimal things, but it does look like there was an agreement that there was actually a contract between all of you from mediation. There was a meeting of the minds, it was all signed and waived and properly noticed up and all those things that are needed. So I'm going to sign this and you will receive your check, and I would ask you to please cash it.
Thank you.
Was there a change made in paragraph 2?
I'm gonna ask you to approach and look at that. And what I've done, we can change it further if needed.
They can send it to us.
Change. Is that what you wanted?
She says something about them delivering the check to them.
Okay.
But you don't want something.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to do
it. Yeah, why don't you both finish? We'll make sure you get copies. You do a forward for a copy.
Yep.
Right, ma'am, I've signed this, and you're gonna get a copy of this in the mail, and then you'll also get your check, okay? Good luck to you, ma'am. And, you know, you have your couple of years, and then State Farm has said it's not a no today, they can't predict the future, so just keep all your documentation. Sounds like you're good at doing that, so we'll get this to you, okay? Good luck to you. That's all for this record
The copies be available for us today.
right now.
Thank you, Jen. Be safe.
Nice to see you. You wanna wait for your copy?
Man, it's gonna wait.
Oh, my God, okay. Thank you.
You have